Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said this morning that the president is very committed to the Middle East peace process, but Tillerson would not discuss Mr. Trump's expected decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital and order the U.S. embassy to move from Tel Aviv. Arab leaders warn that would ruin the chances for peace. Palestinian leaders are calling for 3 days of rage to protest the move. And Turkey's foreign minister, who met with Tillerson this morning, said the whole world is against this. Margaret Brennan is at the White House. Margaret, good morning. So much to discuss here. First, how will this decision disrupt, if not derail, the peace initiative that is being championed by the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner?
Well, there really is no peace process at this point because Jared Kushner hasn't presented any kind of proposal. But what President Trump is doing here is appearing to pick a side in one of history's most intractable conflicts. Jews, Muslims, Christians, they all consider Jerusalem to be a holy city. And ever since Israel seized it militarily in 1967, all American presidents have insisted that they negotiate with the Palestinians to settle their dueling claims. So this is a unilateral decision. It's a major concession. Not clear what the president's getting in exchange for it. And it's going to actually be pretty popular among many of the Christian evangelical voters who supported President Trump.
So, Margaret, he overrules his top advisors. We hear the world leaders are saying this is a terrible thing that will have terrible consequences. What does President Trump see that others don't? We heard him earlier fulfill a campaign promise because he said it on the campaign trail. But what does he see that others do not?
Well, fulfilling those campaign promises is extremely important to President Trump, particularly as he comes up on that 1-year mark, his first year of the presidency. He's keenly focused on delivering on that message. Vice President Mike Pence has been a vocal supporter, particularly of this move. As I said, it's going to be very, very popular with some of the evangelical voters who helped propel President Trump into this office. It's also going to be popular with some of the harder right-wing pro-Israel supporters, many of whom supported the Trump campaign. Casino magnate Sheldon Adelson was a big financial and political supporter of the president, and this issue in particular was one that he highlighted. So that is what the president is keenly aware of.
Margaret, can you talk about the timeline of the embassy actually moving? We're going to hear the announcement from the president, but when will this actually be implemented?
Well, that's key, Bianna, because it's watch what actually happens. The U.S. Embassy is staying in Tel Aviv. The president's going to sign a waiver saying that for now it stays. The White House admits it's going to take at least 3 to 4 years to try to plan and build a new one in Jerusalem. And that timeline pushes you past the end of the first term of the Trump presidency. So if President Trump stays in office, maybe it'll happen. If he doesn't, any other president could change this.
And Margaret, quickly, does it matter that the Trump administration is not taking a position on how Jerusalem will be divided?
Well, that's one of the things, Norah, that you're right to pick up on that. Listen to what the president says today. Is he going to throw any kind of bone to the Arab countries who are so concerned here? And that could come in the form of saying, well, East Jerusalem, the part of Jerusalem where many Palestinians live, that they do have a right to that territory, and to say that in the future the United States will also help support the creation of a Palestinian state. So if he gives those concessions, that could change the way this is received on the streets. Right now, it is not clear exactly how the president's going to present this later this afternoon.
All right, we'll hear what he has to say today. Thank you, Margaret.